Okay, hello. Sorry for the delay on this one. I've just been insanely busy. But yes, we are here to talk about One Piece, chapter 1156, Idols. Now, this was a fucking great chapter. I don't know how long this chapter's gonna, this video is going to be, just because I feel like it's more like brief points rather than like long like theorization or anything like that. But knowing my track record of saying, "Oh, this is going to be a short one and it's a 20-minute recording," who knows? But yeah, I love this chapter. This is fucking phenomenal. And I've said this in I think in previous chapter reviews lately, but I will say it again now. I really think Oda is changing his way of storytelling slash disseminating lore or plot information from the past that he's been holding back on. I think since I think his Wano break, I've talked about this before, was really when he reevaluated his pacing and how he was handling the rest of the series, re-outlined and kind of figured out how he was going to disseminate the rest of the story. And I think since then he's really upped his frequency and pacing in terms of the volume of past slash lore information he's been revealing at given times. I think he's revealing so much to us because he realizes like he has to unload what he's been holding back to wrap up the series. And I feel like we're definitely getting a lot of that. Sorry, it was a very long-winded of saying we're getting more. Saying we're getting more lore. Anyway, the Kuja pirates show up. I fucking loved this whole sequence. Gloriosa, who we later know is Davy Back drafted into the Rocks Pirates, and then I assume Shaki will take the place from there. Sorry, I don't know if you guys heard that. There was the I don't know. I don't think it picked up on the mic because I don't see any lines, but there was like a fucking kid shrieking outside. But yeah, I don't think it got picked up. Anyway, why random shit. Anyway, I fucking loved this whole sequence. It seemed like Roger is absolutely. Is he infatuated? I'm rereading now. I read it last week, so it's kind of like, no, he just kind of wants Shaki. Why does he want Shaki? Is he infatuated with her, or... Sorry, I should have reread it before doing the video. I think he just wants her for the crew. Yeah, I think he just wants her for the crew, but it's cool to see young Roger really and everything. And of course, similar to Bo with Luffy, naturally we see that Shaki is drawn to Gaban. I mean, not Gaban, fucking Rayleigh, because he's the only one that's not like falling head over heels and having that reaction to her. But it didn't seem like Roger was either. So I don't know. But yeah. And then there's a middle Tritoma who we're finally seeing is Boa's mom. This is the Empress that disappeared, that was in between Shaki and Boa, that got love sickness. And we see later in the chapter that we see her come down with the love sickness, but it doesn't say who it was attributed to. First of all, I love that the whole Amazon Lily effect with the Empresses is like, it doesn't just apply to men, it applies to women too. Love that, Oda. Great work. But yeah, we don't see oh wait, no, is that Gloriosa? Did I misread this the first time? Am I having like revelations as I go through the chapter right now? Is that Gloriosa getting the love sickness? In this panel? Did she get a love sickness for rocks? And that's why she joined. Am I meant like. Okay. Pause. The first time I read this chapter, I saw the panel of Shaki holding someone that has the love sickness as her holding not Gloriosa, but holding Tritoma. But I'm looking at it now, and it looks like she's blonde. So I completely fucking misinterpreted this the first time. It looks like she's holding Gloriosa, and Gloriosa got a love sickness too. Yeah, earrings and everything. I totally misinterpret this. And so maybe it's someone on Rock's Street, maybe it's Whitebeard, maybe it's Rocks. I must be totally missing something here. So maybe that's why she left, and then Shaki would take it as captain, because we know that Tritoma eventually gets the love sickness and disappears. I'm still, that doesn't really affect my theory. I still highly believe that, I think it's 50-50. I don't say, like when I say highly believe, I don't think it's, like, definitively canon. But my theory is that Tritoma is Luffy's mom. I think that that we're finally seeing her now, but whoever this, before this point, whoever I assumed whoever was that middle princess from Amazon Lily, the former captain of the Kuja Pirates, I figured that she got the love sickness for Dragon, and hence Luffy's origin, and it also, like, adding to that theory, Kuma sending Luffy to Amazon Lily when he's rescuing, quote-unquote, rescuing all the Straw Hats. So, wow, I totally fucking misinterpreted that panel on my first read-through. But this whole sequence is fucking great. I did not expect to see this. Like, I love the idea that, like, the Kuja Pirates were, like, a powerhouse at the level of Roger and Rocks at the time. I think that's super sick. Like you didn't really expect to see that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, this started as a Herald flashback, and now we're, like, totally spread out, and we're covering, like, all these different factions and forces. Hence, that goes back to what I was saying about the way Oda's pacing things. And now, we go back to Elbaf, and it's fucking heartbreaking, because you see that if Ida took in Loki originally, all of this could have been avoided. If it wasn't just for this fucking bullshit Elbafian aristocracy, this could have been all avoided, and Loki could have had a fucking decent life. And you see that all of these factors, like, all this bullshit, like, that Harold couldn't work past. He could work past so much, but he couldn't work past this fucking aristocracy. And it just completely... Can you tell I get riled up about Loki? That I love him to death, and I just hate how much he's suffered for no fucking reason? Can you know how genuinely mad it makes me? Like, as if he's a real person? That's how good of a writer Oda is. I'm just, like, fucking fuming. But yeah, if Ida had taken him in from the get-go, he would have had a happy life. And it's just because of this bullshit. Now I run into it, and you could see that she, like, still cares about him and sees past this shit, even though she wasn't the one to raise him. Anyway, back to Rocks. We're jumping around. So we see someone show up, and I assume he's trying to fucking, trying to join Rox's crew. Kyo the Wicked, future Silver Axe. I didn't recognize the name Silver Axe at first, but I think it's one of the they say Shiki's rival. I think it's one of the zombies from Thriller Bark, right? Like, I think we see his corpse in Thriller Bark. I could be wrong, but so Rox is after 2 devil fruits. To be confirmed. I am guessing he says one of them is at Elbaf, and I assume the other one is at God Valley, hence why they go to God Valley. That's just my guessing, but I could be wrong. I wonder if he is capable of hosting multiple devil fruits like Blackbeard, but we don't know. That's just purely speculation at this point. So can't really say. They keep bringing out the Galera or these shipwright giants back into the story, and people have been theorizing. I don't really have any theory on it, but I think they keep bringing it up, so it's got to be important. I don't know if it's important. I don't know some people were saying it's the giants that were frozen at Punk Hazard, but I thought that the frozen section of Punk Hazard was because of the fight between Aokiji and Akainu. Like, I didn't think it was frozen before then. I could be wrong, but so I was sort of dismissing that theory. We know that I think what not Kuma, fucking Moria found ores frozen near Wano or in Wano or somewhere like that, right? That's my other idea. Like, maybe it was like they were frozen there. But we only hear about him finding ores, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And also, ores seems more like he's like the Oni type, and this seems more like traditional. I don't know. I'm sort of dismissing that. I think it's just stuff we don't know about yet, but I could most definitely be wrong. We see at this point that he's recruited Big Mom, Kaido, Strusen, and Captain John at this point. Interesting that Captain John is part of his crew, yet named Captain. Maybe he had his own crew and left. I know we saw Captain John definitely as a zombie in Thriller Bark, so that's pretty cool. We also have Pirate Barbell, who's a catfish fisherman who looks like the fisherman. Who am I thinking of? Is he on Blackbeard Crew, that giant like fisherman creature guy? I think so. So I wonder if he's his father, and then we see, of course, Kaido. And we see more like I was talking about, like Luffy-esque energy, where he's like, he kicks Kaido because he's saying like Harold's my good pal. If I crushed you, if you crap again, that's not Blackbeard energy. That's fucking Luffy energy. And I think Melody was talking about this on our stream, like how there's a very high like I think what's happening, if my theory that Rox is possessing Blackbeard isn't correct, I think a good like idea of what's happening there could very well be that that Blackbeard is completely misinterpreting his father's ethos and goals, and like acting on them like without really understanding his nature and like purpose of his goals. And I think that would be a good message. And I say we got the full spread of the current crew, and it's a sick fucking spread. And I know the anime will ruin it because they always seem to ruin the rock spreads. But yeah, he's essentially saying like Elbaf is the key to bringing down the Holy Lands. If any don't buy it, they get lost. I think it's because of the fruit. But it seems, was he saying, does he need Harold to eat the fruit? Or am I just at a false memory? It'll only show its true power if Harold eats it. So I think it has to be something related to people of the, the Oni lineage, the ancient giant, the ones with the horns. I'm not remembering all the terms because some are week by week reader. But I think it probably has something to do with like someone of that subrace needs to eat the fruit in order to grow its true effect. So he needs to recruit Harold. We now know Loki eats it. He needs to recruit Harold and get him on his side with the fruit in order to succeed. And that seems to be their mission. Follow you, I'll take you to the World Summit. Fucking sick, amazing ending of a chapter. Doesn't seem like there's a break next week, or this week now that I'm recording this, is exciting. So my question though, no, I already talked about that. Never mind. Disregard. Last thing I wanted to say though is, there's a popular theory going around that, Rox, like, it seems like Rox and Roger wouldn't be enemies. And, like, based on just the way they're operating, it seems like there's very goodwill between Whitebeard and Roger. And, everyone else seems to have respect for Roger. So, I mean, Shiki fucking goes after the Marines because he couldn't believe that Roger was, like, things like that. Because episode 0 is canon. Film Strong World is not, but episode 0 that accompanied it is, for clarification. What was I just saying? Oh, yeah, so it seems like, I keep losing my train of thought. Fuck. It seems like... Oh, yeah. Yeah, it seems like they're all on good terms. So, there's a popular theory going around that Rox is going to get Domi reversied by Emu at God Valley, maybe because Rox is close to getting the second fruit that he needs. And Emu is like, oh, fuck, if he actually does this... Rox is a threat. He showed up in my throne room. If he actually does this, he'll be fucking back. So, I wonder if the reason Garp and Roger, who are such sworn enemies, team up to beat him is because he's Domi reversed, and he's going to kill everyone if they don't stop him, even me in a sense. That's like a popular theory that's floating around. I buy it. I think it could totally very well, and it's like the Chekhov's Domi reversey kind of in this flashback. Even though we already have one coming with Harold, but that would thematically tie everything together in this flashback in a very neat bow. So I think it's very much possible. Anyway, I said this was going to be a short one, and we're approaching 20 minutes. This happens every fucking time, because I can't stop rambling about One Piece. I fucking love it to death. It's the best series ever. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.